My old boss called me and said he heard that Jared Kushner's task force needed younger volunteers who had general skills and were willing to work 7 days a week for no money. And if you fit those criteria, that you should head to DC and help with the pandemic response. I definitely had some apprehension about working for the administration, but it felt like the country and the world were under attack. It seemed like if there was something to do to help, that was the right thing to do. They basically gave us a day to show up in DC at the FEMA headquarters. And we walked into conference room A, which was this windowless subterranean conference room. There were televisions all around the walls, all playing Fox News. One representative from FEMA and one representative from the military gave a quick pep talk. They kept saying the stuff, and by that they meant PPE. And they kept saying there's stuff all around the world, there's stuff in the US, and we need to get it to hospitals as fast as possible. Everyone stood up and started filing into different offices, and I remember the only people left were the volunteers. We thought we'd be auxiliary support for an existing procurement team that just needed to be expanded as quickly as possible, and we would, do data entry for contracts. And instead we were the team. I think when people imagined the federal government response in the war room, they thought it would be this big, energized group of experts, not 10, 20-year-old volunteers, all just with private laptops, no industry relationships, no experience working in supply chain. So we started cold emailing people we knew who had business relationships in China, looking for factories online, and emailing them from our personal Gmail accounts. Because we had never done this before, there were all these really basic questions about how a federal procurement operation should work. We would call factories and say, we think the federal government can send you a check in 60 days. And they would say, there's someone with a briefcase of cash and they're offering to pay me right now. And we would run around the FEMA building looking for someone who could tell us what payment terms the federal government was allowed to offer. And no one ever told us.